Hey y'all, it's Shamanda or Dr. Shamanda. Welcome back to my channel where we talk about all things mental health, personal finance, and overall strategies to live your best life. All right, y'all. So right now in North Carolina, it's about 5:30 on a Wednesday. It's raining outside. It's kind of a little cool. I got my heat on, but you see I got my blanket on. Well, it look like a blanket, but my little sweater on. I have work today. I'm a millennial manager. I have taught one class already online early this afternoon, and then I have another class that I'm teaching in about 30 minutes. But I am staying consistent on this new series called Basic Finances, and I'm so excited about this series. Y'all know I love personal finance. I love talking about it. I love the interconnection between mental health and personal finances. So let's get into today's topic. We have already talked about budgeting. I gave you a video about budgeting 101. I gave you a video about how to save your first $1,000. I gave you a video about, let's see, what's the other one? Debt payoff strategies. So I broke down the difference between the snowball method of paying off debt and the avalanche method of paying off debt. Now today's video is all about the mindset it takes to pay off debt. Okay, now I'm going to give you a word or term that is coined by personal finance expert Dave Ramsey. Shout out to Dave Ramsey. I started listening to him. I was living in Atlanta, I think, at the time. Not Atlanta, but South Georgia. I had been recruited to work there as a therapist. I was in a rural area. They didn't have a lot of licensed counselors there, and I was trying to go to Georgia, and I had the credentials, and they needed people who were credentialed to provide mental health and substance abuse treatment. So I remember sometimes when I would drive back and forth between North Carolina to come visit in Georgia, it was like a 4-hour drive because where I lived in Georgia was like way on the other side of, it was, I don't know. But my children would be in the back seat. They were younger, way younger then, but I would be listening to Dave Ramsey. I would listen to his podcast, or I guess it was a radio show or something at the time. It was on the radio. And I didn't know anything about him, but I do remember seeing his books in the library years earlier. And I didn't even put the two and two together. That's kind of how I fell in love with personal finance. I just wanted to learn how can I go from poverty to middle class? What is middle class? I just wanted to learn more about it. Like, I just felt like I wanted to be one of those people who walk around in the grocery store with their debit card, and all I had was my food stamp card. I had my debit card, but I ain't had no money really. But I wanted to one day be able to pay for my food with my debit card and my cash. So I was like, oh, those are middle class people. This is like 10, 15 years ago. But I wanted to be one of those people, and so I started studying personal finance. So anyway, that's how I knew or learned of Dave Ramsey, and I just started listening to him. And he would always use this term, Gazelleintense. When it comes to paying off your debt, your mindset has to be like a gazelle. Don't ask me what a gazelle is. I don't know. All I know is in the terms or in relationship or connection or regarding this idea, concept, the gazelle is very aggressive. It's a very aggressive approach. It's a very focused approach. It's honestly borderline obsessive. And you know, if you follow me, you might be like, yeah, that girl, all she does is talk about money. Baby, I don't care. Listen, because guess what? Once you have a gazelle mindset about your goal, specifically about paying off debt, and then of course it'll transition to saving and investing after you pay off your debt, or like me, I actually do them all at the same time. That's not recommended, but when you get to that Gazelleintense mindset and stage, everything, it looks different for you, okay? Now, there's a very important piece to this. In order to get to the Gazelleintense mindset in space, you have to be sick and tired of being sick and tired. You have to be sick and tired of being broke. You have to, it's almost like in the world of addiction, we talk about having your breaking point. That moment where you're just like, I cannot do this no more. I cannot keep using. I cannot keep putting my family through this. I cannot keep putting myself through this. I have to try something different. I'm willing to try something different. And this looks different for everyone. And so you need to figure out, like, what is that breaking point for you? Now for me, I want to say I've had different moments and different phases. And if you look at my YouTube channel, you can go back, and that's what I love about YouTube, is that you can see my journey. There were periods of time where I was so focused on paying off debt and saving and all this stuff. And this was in my early 20s. I would start and I would stop and I would start and I would stop. And I feel like when I finally hit my breaking point was 2022. And that sounds crazy because that was literally 3 years ago. Girl, at this point, I done started a whole business. I had a production company, and I made a movie, and literally everything at this point. I had a master's. I was in my doctoral program. My kids, teenagers, but I still had not hit my sick and tired point. I had been on food stamps, off of food stamps at this point for about 10 years at this point. Like, I still had not hit that point. The way that I know that was my breaking point was, I remember being in the hotel room. My children and I were getting ready to come back to North Carolina, and I didn't have a car. I didn't even know how I was gonna get back to North Carolina. I was waiting on my mom to figure out if she's gonna come pick us up. You know what I'm saying? And thankfully my dad and his wife came and got us. But I knew God gave me, he was like, come back to North Carolina. And again, I have credentials, licenses, educate, all that stuff. So it really wasn't that huge of a deal. But I had about $3K. This is after shooting my movie and everything. Like, my apartment that I was in, it had mold in it, so I had to leave Atlanta because I couldn't stay there. But I had about $3K, and that was money that one of my friends loaned me. So I'm being transparent with y'all. And I remember sitting on my engine had blew my car, and I had up until that point, or after that point, I had been riding Lyft for a year and a half at this point. So I didn't have a car, I didn't have anything really, honestly, but I still had options, you know. But I remember sitting on the hotel bed the night before we came back to North Carolina, and I remember saying, this can't be my life. I can't, come on, like, be for real. Like, after everything you've been through, after everything you've achieved and overcome, what are you doing? What's going on here? And I said to myself, God, if you get me back to North Carolina, and you get me with a good company, and I can get stable, I'm gonna get me an apartment, and I'm gonna work on buying a house, I'm gonna get another car, and I'm gonna start saving, and I'm gonna start investing, and I'm gonna start paying off my debt. I just need you to give me the opportunity and open the door for me. I literally made that commitment to God right there on that bed. I was literally sitting with my laptop, doing my homework, because I was in a doctoral program online. Y'all, this is like that long ago, literally. But if you look at everything I've accomplished in these 3 years, you know that obviously that was a real sick and tired of being broke moment for me, because I had not looked back since, and everything's been up and up since then. So, but in that moment, I made a commitment that you have way too much value. You have way too many opportunities. You have way too many assets just in who you are to be doing this. You keep starting and stopping, moving to Georgia, moving back to North Carolina. Like, just, girl, please sit down somewhere. Find you a good company that you can commit to, that you can serve with, and stay still, literally. And when I made that commitment to God, I promise y'all, when I got back to North Carolina, I stayed with my mom for a few months. I ended up getting on with the hospital system here in North Carolina. I stayed with them for the longest I've ever been with any company. I was able to purchase a home. I started investing, and in that investing period, I was able to use some of the funds from my 401k to pay a down payment to purchase this home. I was able to get a car after 2 years of lifting everywhere. I started saving. My credit score went up. Y'all, I'm telling you. And I finished my doctoral program, obviously, December of last year. Now I've been able to finally leave that company, but it was time to move forward because I got a promotion at another company. I'm now a manager. So, but again, in 2022, I didn't have no money, literally. So now I have tens of thousands of dollars invested. I have thousands of dollars in savings. I have a home that's hundreds of thousands of dollars in value. Listen, it's possible, but you gotta have that moment where you're just sick and tired of being broke, and starting over and stopping and stressing about money and worried about money and letting money control your life. You have to have that moment, but it's literally a mindset shift. And once you get to that moment, and once you committed to that, now it's time to go all in. So this is the part where people kind of get, you gotta walk it out. Whatever you said you're gonna do, you gotta walk it out. So for me, what this looks like is, I'm gonna be real, and I kind of be like, you know, wondering how people feel about me posting videos sometimes. Like, do they think like, oh, she ain't got no money or something? I have to always check myself, like, girl, who cares? Be for real. These people, they're not paying your bills. Like, who cares what they think? But the thing is, I don't need to work a second job. I don't need to teach on top of what I do. I make a good living. I make a good, decent income, literally. If I wanted to live off just on my salary, I could. It wouldn't be an issue at all. But because I am Gazelleintense and I want to pay off debt and I want to be financially free and I want to have time freedom, I'm willing to put in the work. So for me, what that looks like is, and I do not promote hustle culture, so like I say this to y'all every time, but what that looks like is I teach as well, right? And that brings me in another significant amount of income every month, revenue. I also have a production company. I do other things to increase my income, which in the world of personal finance is your shovel. So again, if you go back and watch the other video I posted yesterday or the day before, when you're doing a snowball debt payoff journey, you're trying to build that snowball, which is the amount of money that you can throw at debt every month, right? So the more you can pay off every month, the faster that journey will go for you. Well, for me, I want to have a big shovel. I have money that pays toward my investments every month, that goes toward savings, that goes toward my regular housing, regular life expenses. But then I also need income that could go straight to my debt. And that's why I choose to work and have multiple streams of income. So again, even this channel, I'm building this channel up. This is going to be a source of revenue for me very soon, right? And I have every intention of using this money that I earn from YouTube to pay off my student loans, pay off debt. So again, but it takes time to make these videos. I don't put a lot of effort into it. I ain't adding nothing no more, so you can get that. But see what I'm saying? Like, you really gotta, when you're in that Gazelle mindset, you're willing to do what it takes. Not any illegal crazy stuff or nothing like that, but sometimes you're gonna have to sacrifice things. Like I just told y'all, I started the video off by telling you, I literally worked this morning. I worked very early hours. I worked from home today, thank God. But, you know, after I finished, wrap my day up around 12, like around 1 o'clock, then my first class started at 2, y'all. So I literally came downstairs, took a little break, and then I went and taught my class. And I've had a 2-hour break in between. I took a little nap. I'm up filming this video, and in like 20 minutes, I'm teaching my second class tonight. And then I'm gonna come down, get ready for bed, probably relax a little bit, and then go to bed and start my day over tomorrow. But do you see what I'm saying? Like, but I'm actually earning multiple streams of income right now. Today, I've earned multiple streams of income. This channel isn't monetized yet, but every video I make, I'm getting closer to the goal. Every class I teach, I earn money. I had a work day today. I earned money during my work day. That's my shovel. And I'm intentional about that. I don't apologize for none of that because I know that I'm able to pay off debt. So another thing is, you know, not focusing on other people, not trying to impress other people. I'm paying off my car. I have a baby Benz and it's about 10 years old. I want a SUV so bad. I could go trade that car in and just get that, you know, get rid of this one, whatever. But it's like, that car was like $20K, and really for $20K, that's not a bad, you know, car, and I can have, that's an investment, really. Honestly, I can keep that for a while or whatever I want to do with it, and then once I pay that off, then I can get me another car, you know. But if I was trying to focus on impressing other people, I would trade that car in, get me another car, start all over again, and have $50K worth of debt. That doesn't make sense to me. I'm not going to do that. Also, what are you willing to sacrifice? Obviously, I talk about, you know, time. You got to sacrifice a little bit of time sometimes, right? Dave Ramsey talks about living off of rice and beans, which is fine with me because I'm a Chipotle girl and I'm vegetarian. So that whole concept works for me fine anyway. But for other people who like to go out to eat all the time, you ain't going to be able to go get that Starbucks every week, baby. You can forget it every day. You're not going to Chipotle every day. You think about all that money that you're spending, and is it worth it? Or is it better served you paying it towards your debt? And you might not think it adds up. You may not think it makes any difference that you're, instead of paying that, buying that Chipotle bowl, you're actually going to spend it on putting an extra, put it toward an extra payment towards your car loan or whatever. But it does make a difference because that's interest you may be paying off faster. So it's all about shifting your mindset and how intentional you want to be about this. How serious are you about this? How do you want your future to look? Me personally, by the time I'm 45, I'm not working for nobody. Like, I'm just being real. I'm about to be 40 and fine, baby, period. Like, me and my husband, we traveling. I ain't got no man right now. I ain't married. I ain't dating, nothing like that. But I believe that for me. And I'm just saying, by the time I'm 40, 45, if I want to work, I can. I'll put it that way. But if I don't want to, I'm not going to. But that's because the 36-year-old version of who I am right now is working toward that goal for the 40-something-year-old version of me. It's that simple. Anyway, I hope that helps. Get in the mindset. If you don't got that mindset, I'm happy to help you along your journey. Comment in the videos that I post every week. I'm gonna cheer you on. I am so excited for you to be on the other side. We're gonna make it. All right. Like this video, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you guys next time.